Hey everybody, it's Carly. I help women who have been through massive life changes discover their unique strengths and zones of genius and how they can use these things to build a life that they are happy with and proud of. And I had put a poll out wondering what we should talk about today. I got one response in a private message, and that was on forgiveness, which is so awesome because that is such a huge topic, and it's one that I think is really important in our lives so that we can stay healthy. So I thought I would just chat briefly on this. This is just, it's such a huge topic that I can't go into like everything about forgiveness that I really want to. So we'll just kind of focus on some basics. So first I want to just start out with what forgiveness isn't. So forgiveness is not trusting again instantly the person who did you wrong. And forgiveness is not condoning the behavior that was the negative behavior against you. Keeping the person in your life who wronged you is not something that you have to do by default. What forgiveness is a gift of freedom to yourself. And a lot of people will say, we have this question, well, how do I do it? How do I forgive someone who wronged me, especially if they wronged me so terribly? And I think that there's really two main steps to this. Step one is forgiving ourselves for, for thinking, gosh, we were so stupid. We were so naive. How did we not see this coming? How did we let this happen to ourselves? Especially if it's something that happened repeatedly from the same person that we allowed to happen. And the second thing is forgiving the person who wronged you. And to do that is a lot easier said than done, but it's about being open and willing to the possibility, to this idea of forgiving. And for me, what I like to do is put it out to my higher power or the universe, whoever this would be for you, and ask for that solution to come to you of how you can forgive this person. Why is forgiveness necessary? All right. Well, the easy thing to do when someone wrongs us is to just sit in our self-pity, to sit with our resentment, our anger, our bitterness. But when we do this and we do not let it go, we are letting that very thing that hurt us control us and define us. And the worst result of this is that it trickles all into different aspects of our lives. If you think about, for example, if you were in a relationship where someone wronged you and you don't properly forgive that person and deal with that, give yourself that forgiveness, what ends up happening is you make another person, maybe a future relationship that you're in, you make that person pay for what they did, and you're triggered. So your reactions to these triggers are, they go far beyond what the actual trigger is. So it's kind of this negative cycle that we are trapped in, and our relationships become much less successful. It also has terrible impact on resentment, especially has a terrible impact on our mood, on our creativity. It smashes our creativity. It keeps us stuck in the past. This is where I decided to say, well, if we're going to talk about forgiveness, we kind of need to talk about acceptance, because to me, they go hand in hand. So when we accept the past, what we basically are saying is, I give up the hope that it could have been different. Why is this important? Well, for me, if I can accept what it was and give up the hope that it could have been any different, give up, and accept the fact that I was mistreated. When I can do that, it doesn't mean that I forget what happened. All it means is I can accept it and take it for what it was. And when I can do that, I can forgive. So I guess what I would say that we could think about is, are we going to choose? We have a choice. Are we going to live in the past, or are we going to focus on the future and what we learned from it? Because every single thing that has happened in our lives, every wrong that we've had, every person who has taken advantage of us, all of these things, we have a choice. We can learn from them. So once we accept and decide to forgive, we can then learn the lesson that was given us from this, and that can make us stronger. In my personal situation with the person I have to forgive most in my life, who I have, I would have loved an apology, even a fake one. I would have loved it. I'm really sorry for what I did for you, to you. Even if the person were to say, I didn't mean to, the ideal apology that you could receive is to say, I'm aware that this hurt you. I was aware of it when I did it to you, but I did it anyway. And I'm really sorry, and I'm asking you to forgive me. Even then, in that ideal situation, forgiveness is difficult, right? Forgiveness does not justify the person. It does not justify their action. It just it helps us take care of ourselves. So I want to just leave you with this. Be unwilling to let anyone ruin you. Be unwilling to let anyone ruin you. You are important, and you are worth forgiveness, and your life matters. That is all I have for you today. It's a big topic, but there you go. And I hope you have a great rest of your evening.